students, good morning. Myself Dr. Ganesh Prasad Behera, founder chairman, UTKAL International School, Chaudhar, Cuttack. Today we have to discuss about the topic. Topic name is Globalisation and the Indian economy from the economy part of class 10th, and it is the fourth chapter. It is a very important chapter for our exam and also our nation's development. Dear students, in everywhere of our country there is a discussion that within a certain period of time we have to go or we have to become the third largest economy of the world. So the main contribution to boost our economy, to boost our development, globalization is the main role to develop the nation. Dear students, if we have to go the 1990, the situation of India is very critical as the part of the financial sector. At that time, our country has faced several issues regarding the financial matters. So, at that times, that Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao decided to open our Indian market for the others, and that is known as the privatization. And that time is the foundation stone laid by the Indian government for globalization of the Indian economy. So, dear students, now we are on the year of 2024, on where now we are discuss the different brands, different things, different multinational companies that is due to the globalization and globalization policy of the Indian government. So, dear students, the first point is production across countries. Over the years, there has been rapid transformation. I have told you from 1990 to 2024. There is a lot of rapid transformations by the government in the terms of explosion of the brands for many goods in the Indian market. Now, if you see the different brands on the markets, that is due to the globalization and globalization policy of our government. India used to export raw materials and food products and import some goods. Later, if you want to research of our economy, of our policy, what happened? At that time, India has raw materials to export. India has export the raw materials, food products, and import some finished goods. Their trade was the main connecting link with different nations. Dear students, if we are in a good relation among the different nations, that is due to trade. So, a question arises on your mind, that is multinational corporations, MNCs, multinational corporations. The multinational corporations, the production is owned and controlled in more than one nation. That is where the nation, there is not a one nation. The multinational corporations, the production is owned and controlled in more than one nation. Multinational corporations have established their factories and premises for production in different regions where they acquire cheap labor and the resources. Dear students, you know on your previous class 9th, because the cheap labor and resources is the main part of the production. So, the multinational corporations has established their factories and premises for production of different regions where they acquire cheap labor and resources. This leads to low cost of production. There is a competition, there is a different brands, and the brand only not quality, the amount, the rate is the main issue for the competition. So, if they hire cheap labor and resources, so they can competitive also rate low cost production also and higher profit for good produced globally. Okay, higher produced the goods produced globally. Okay, for example, for a established cement factory, water is the main resource. If they put their plant near a river, so what happened? They collect the water on a low cost, and which the affect the cost of cement that also. So it is the region that needs the labor and resources to leads to low cost production and higher profit. Then another thing of the multinational corporations, that interlinking production, interlinking in our country, in our nation, interlinking is the very important to produce and to linking the things. Investments made by multinational corporations for buying assets such as land, building and other materials is called foreign investment. Do you know which is known as foreign investment? It is nowadays every country, every state focus on this policy for the foreign investment, and the foreign investment multinational companies comes across the countries and purchase the asset just like land, building and materials is called foreign investment. They produce goods jointly with local companies, and their benefit of joint production is twofold additional investment for new machines and advanced technology to increase the efficiency of production. Okay, they have not products individually, they have collateral, they have agreement with the local companies, and then their benefit of joint production. Okay, that is a good example. In some years there is Hero and Honda, they produced bike in our country India. Okay, Honda is the Korean company and Hero is the Indian company. When they both are collaborated, they produced a bike jointly and got a lots of benefits and serves the market well, and their wealth is more than the entire budget of developing country. Okay, their wealth, their property, their financial condition is more than an entire budget of a developing country, which multinational corporations, and they have tremendous power to determine the price, quality, quantity and delivery of goods produced by small producer in distant places. They have a judgment, they have a vision, they have a quality, to judge the market, what to quality, quantity and delivery of goods produced by small producer in distant places. And multinational companies are spending their production the interacting with local producer in numerous nations throughout the world in a variety methods as listed below. Okay, the multinational companies are spreading, they spread their projects, their business and interacting in the numerous nations throughout the world in variety methods. So what are the methods we have to discuss here? What are the methods they have to adopt? The first method is, dear students, that is joint production. You know, dear student, joint, that is means collaboration. 2 persons, 3 persons, more persons are collaborated, it is known as joint. So multinational corporations partner with an existing local company in joint production or partnership. Okay, multinational it in joint production. When they goes for a joint production, multinational companies, so multinational corporations partner with the existing local company in joint production or partnership. The investment enables, there is a main point is investments. The investment enables local producers to obtain new and improved assets as well as cutting edge technology. Cutting edge technology means new technologies, new ideas which are with multinational corporations and not with the local companies. So when there is a joint production, multinational corporations partner with an existing local company in joint production or partnership. The investment enables local producers to obtain new and improve assets as well as cutting edge technology. They have got the new technologies. And the second point is acquisition of local companies. Okay, multinational companies, how multinational companies spread. The first is joint production, and the second one is acquisition of local companies. Multinational corporations purchase large established local enterprises with vast network in order to grow their production. They purchase, acquisition, local companies, failure companies, which are dead assets, which are not producing well. They are purchased, multinational companies are direct purchase their enterprises with a network to grow their production. And another point is controlled production. Three words. First is joint production, second is acquisition of local companies, and third one is controlled production. Multinational companies or corporations source materials and make orders with local companies. They are purchasing, give their brand and sell it on market. So there are three ways where multinational corporations are spreading their productions. So first one is joint production, and second one is acquisition of local companies, and the third one is controlled production. Dear students, you have understood well up to this point. Then who in controlled production, resulting controlled production, the multinational corporations brand name is used to market their products. Local company only produce the quality as per standard instruction given by the multinational corporations, and multinational corporations give their brand. So the multinational corporations spread with three ways. First one is joint production, second one is acquisition of local companies, and third one is controlled production. Then students, a point arises on your mind, that is foreign trade and integration of markets. Foreign trade means in our country we are trade business in inter-country only. When it goes for exports, so it comes under the foreign trade. So foreign trade creates an opportunity for producer not only to sell goods in the local market but also to compete in the global market. At that time there is a network integration of local market with the global market. Buyers can import goods of their own choice from the global market. The buyer is open to purchase a thing in global market or local market. So at that time buyers can import goods their own choice from the global market. Thus it connects markets of different nations. Different countries are involved in this business, and the buyer is open to purchase on the global. Then foreign trade provides opportunity, and at that point the foreign trade also provides opportunities for both producers and buyers. That is opportunity for both parties, for producer also and for buyer also, to reach beyond the market of their own country. Of their own country there is a limitation. There is a limitation of everything, but when it is a globalization or foreign trade, it provides opportunity for both producers and buyers to reach beyond the market of their own countries. Goods travel from one country to another. Competition among producers of various countries as well as buyers prevail. There is a competition of quality, quantity, also price, everything. There is a competition, and which is benefit for the buyers. You get the benefits, and thus foreign trade lead to integration the market across countries. So foreign trade, it is an attraction of the among the countries. And for example, during Diwali season, example on a Diwali, buyers in India have to option to choosing between Indian and Chinese decorative lights and bulbs. At the Diwali you see different type of Chinese materials on our market, and they have competed to the Indian market. It is a good example. So this provides an opportunity to expand business, and it is also an opportunity for the country, for a nation to expand the business. Then a point, globalization. Now a word comes India is not alone. It is now global. Everyone, a village is also connected with globalization. Globalization, what is globalization? Globalization is a process of integration among the people of different countries, and it is driven by trade and investment and aided by technology. It is the terms of globalization. Globalization is a process of integration among the people of different countries, and it is driven by the trade and investment and aided by technology. Globalization is defined as the integration between countries through foreign trade and foreign investment by multinational corporations, increase in foreign trade. Okay, globalization is defined as the integration between countries through foreign trade and foreign investment by multinational corporations, increase in foreign trade, migration of people, spread of technology, capital flow, private and public investment from foreign countries all together contribute the globalization. The parts of globalization. What is the part of globalization? Now increase the foreign trade, migration of people, spread of technology, capital flow, private and public investment from foreign countries contribute the globalization. And globalization has been facilitated by the several factors like rapid improvements in technology. The rapid investment of technology is the main focus part of the globalization. So, liberation of trade and investment policies and pressures from international organizations such as the WTO, World Trade Organization, is an organization which leads the globalization and the global business. So, factors. Now, a question arises on your mind: what are the factors that have led the globalization? Dear students, you know nowadays the main point which is lead the globalization, that is technology. Technology has a vital role to lead the globalization or to spread the globalization. So, what type of technology? Advance in transport. Now we have cargo transport, ship transport, highway transport, different categories of transport. Information and communication technology has enabled the globalization process. Dear students, is a very vital part which encourages the globalization. Transport, information and communication technology always attract the globalization process, develop the globalization process. A container for the transport of goods has increased the volume of goods transports by airlines. Okay, as airlines there is a limit, but in container by the ship it is a fast facility. It is increased the volume of goods by transport the airline. According to airline, also the shipment, the ship container transport has been increased. Telecommunication facilities communicate with one another around the world. Nowadays, communication by internet, by Google, by different forum, you can get the communication by the information to contact the buyers, the sellers, to show your products, to sell your products. So, telecommunication facilities communicate with one another around the world. The amazing world of the internet allows often the sharing information, sending mail, and speaking the others across the world at a lower cost. Nowadays, it is a very vital role. Telecommunication, communication by mail, by internet, by calls. It is a very cheap to communicate to buyers, to communicate to sellers, and to sell it on globalization. Then another point is liberation of foreign trade. Liberation means thoda norma, thoda kami, thoda discussion, liberation. What happened? Now Indian government, you know, everything is covered by or guided by the Indian government. Without Indian government's rule, policy, so globalization will not be success. So the Indian government protected domestic producers by putting barriers on foreign trade and investment. A trade barrier is a set of restrictions imposed on foreign trade, okay, such as tax on import. it is liberation. If there is a heavy tax, there is a heavy tax, so what happened? Globalization will not be success, foreign investments will not come, so how it will be complete? So what happened? Now in before 1991, what happened? In 1991, government protected domestic producers by putting barriers in foreign trade. There are much more barriers in foreign trade before 1991 because it is a government policy and trade barriers to restriction foreign trade and higher taxes on the imports. So liberation with a new policy come into existence in India in 1991. Dear students, the name of liberation or open market has Indian peoples has known on the year 1991 under the captainship, under the prime ministership of P.V. Narasimha Rao, and it removes barrier. The Narasimha Rao government improved all the barriers set as government to import and export goods. They open the market, open the India as an open market. Okay, the government felt that competition should improve the quality of products. Okay, competition. If there are different products, different quality of products, so competition, they good products, good amount, good quality. So competition can grow. The market was supported by the powerful international organization. Thus, Indian producers competed with producers in the global market, and it is also a benefit to the Indian traders. They can compete, they can sell, they can show their produce, they can sell their things in the global market. Okay, now World Trade Organization. Dear students, if there should be globalization, global trade, so there should be organization to control, to establish, to guide the globalization. So there is an organization whose name is World Trade Organization, WTO, and which is established in America on the year 2014. World Trade Organization is an organization of 160 members. There are 160 members as per 2014, which aims to liberalize international trade at an international level. World Trade Organization has pressured developing countries to liberalize trade and investment. The basic aim of World Trade Organization is to pressure the developing countries to liberalize trade and investment. Then, and what are the another functions of the World Trade Organization? Now, World Trade Organization is an international organization whose aim is to liberalize international trade. The main point, World Trade Organization is an international organization whose aim is to liberalize the international trade. Another thing is started at the initiative of the developed countries. It is started the initiative of the development countries. World Trade Organization establishes rules regarding international trade. There is a certain rule which is issued by the WTO, World Trade Organization, regarding international trade, and sees that these rules are obeyed, and World Trade Organization also keep watch that such rules are to be obeyed. And nearly 160 countries of the world are currently member of the World Trade Organization. This is as for data of 2014. Then through World Trade Organization is supposed to allow free trade for all parties. Practice, that is a free trade practice of the among the all countries which are associated with World Trade Organization. And it is seen that the developed countries have unfairly retained trade barriers. Okay, that is a control. They are the developed countries are unfairly. Okay. On the other hand, World Trade Organization rules have forced the developing countries to remove trade barriers. On the World Trade Organization, rules have forced the developing countries to remove the trade barriers. Okay, some countries, some developing countries, they are put barriers. So World Trade Organization has the duty to remove the barriers made by the developing countries. Then, dear students, a question arises on your mind that globalization, what we got from globalization? What is the impact of globalization in India? It is a very vital point. Every person, every man, you also thinks that what globalization impact. So, dear students, everything has two sides. Coin has also two sides. So globalization has also two sides. One is positive impact and another is negative impact. So if we consider the positive impact, so what are the positive impacts we found? Now globalization has resulted in more choices for the consumers. Okay. First benefit, globalization has resulted the more choices for the consumers who now get better quality and at lower prices of several products. It is the first benefit of the globalization. And the second point is globalization has improved the standard of living of people, particularly living in the urban areas. They have found market, open market. So globalization improved the standard of living of the people, particularly living in urban areas. And another main important thing is multinational corporations have increased their investments in developing countries. Okay, there is in developing countries, people need the products, the things, they have the interest. So multinational corporations have increased their investments in developing countries like India in industries such as cell phones. Okay, now in India, what are things required? Cell phones, automobiles, electronics, soft drinks, etc. As a result of it, new jobs have been created in developing countries. So due to multinational corporations, due to globalization, we found the industries of cell phones, automobiles, electronics, soft drinks. As a result, the new jobs have been created in developing countries. Understand? Then some local companies that supply raw materials through multinational corporations have also benefited. It is a main benefit. Due to globalization, some local companies supply the raw material to multinational corporations and also got benefited. And another positive point of the globalization, some local companies in countries like India have been able to invest in newer technology and production method. Invest what? Now they are successful in raising their production and standard. Okay, our local companies also due to globalization improve their production and standard. And another positive point is globalization has enabled some large companies such as Tata Motors, Infosys, and emerge a multinational companies. That is the outcome of globalization. Infosys, Tata Motors, it is developed due to globalization. And another positive point of globalization is companies providing services, particularly in the field of information and communication technologies, have also benefited by globalization. Okay, the information sector and the communication technology improved the globalization. And similarly, in the case in service like data entry, accounting, administrative tax and engineering, in that sector also globalization creates a positive thing. Now we come for a negative impact. What are the negative impact of the globalization? Dear students, before we discuss the positive impacts, or now we discuss about the positive impacts, now we also go for negative impacts. So what are the negative impacts? Now, creation of special economic zones. Dear students, if you go for economy development or globalization, so we have to create economic zones, and the lives of the people who are displaced, such as tribals, sometimes to produce more electricity, dams are constructed and their land is submerged and the people are left without any job. Okay, so due to economic zone, tribal peoples are affected. Due to construction of the dams for produce of electricity, the peoples which have Now the near of the rivers, they are displaced due to, and they have left their homes without job. And flexibility in labor laws, okay, due to the pressure of multinational corporations, flexibility in labor laws is allowed by the government to attract foreign investment. This has resulted in worsening the condition of workers. They are damaging the condition of the workers, because due to the pressure of multinational corporations, government has changed the labor laws, and which affects the career of the laborers, because they are appointed on a temporary basis to avoid payment of provident fund and other facilities. No overtime is paid to the extra hours of the work. The workers are paid low wages. That is, should be taken by the government, by the multinational corporations, because they have affected due to liberation of the labor law. And the main negative impact of globalization is effect on small producers. Globalization has hit the small producers, because they are unable to compete with the multinational corporations, because they have low rates, low production, they are big productions, they are big establishment. So what happened now? The small businessmen, small producers or manufacturers, several units have been shut down. They have not competed with the multinational corporations, and the big producers, manufacturers, several units have been shut down, rendering with workers jobless. In India, small industries which employ about 20 million workers have been hit adversely. It is a big point. 20 million workers is working with small industries. If they have not competed with the multinational companies, corporations, then what happened? The people's career will be destroyed. They lose their job. From above description, on the above points, it is clear that the impact of globalization has not been uniform. It has positive as well as negative impact. So on the above points, we have learned that the globalization has also positive impact, and same time it has also negative impact. So now another point is very important, that is struggle for fair globalization. We all shouted, we all want globalization, but the globalization should be fair. Dear students, what are the obstructions on the fair globalization? The government needs to focus the policies which will protect the interest of the people in the country. The first, the government make the policy on the interest of the people of the country. Fair globalization will create better opportunity for all. The globalization will be better opportunity for all, and it benefits the globalization are equally shared by everyone. The globalization will be shared equally by everyone. And what? Now first, it has the potential to help small producers boost their output. Under the globalization, her government, every government has to put a policy and a watch that the potential to help the small producer to boost their output, and it can ensure that the globalization can ensure that labor rules are followed and that worker rights are protected. First thing, before going to globalization, before adapt to globalization, or every government ensure that labor rules are followed and the worker rights are protected. The government can deploy trade and investment obstacles if required. Before globalization, government can deploy trade and investment obstacles. There should be some rule if required, and it can negotiate for fair rules in the WTO, World Trade Organization. All the government always watch, always discuss with World Trade Organization to produce the fair rules. And the main and last point of the globalization, it can also band together with other developing countries with similar interest to compete with the World Trade Organization with developed countries. These are the struggle and guidelines, and we have to watch. Government have to watch. Every man has to careful for the globalization. Dear students, this is all about your chapter globalization and Indian economy. So what we have recalled that production across countries, multinational corporations, then interlinking of productions, MNC, multinational corporations, how they spreading, joint production, acquisition of local companies, controlled production, and after then foreign trade and integrations of market. Now India and world is a one market. Then globalization and factors have enabled globalization. The main factor is technology and another is World Trade Organization, which control the whole trades or globalization. And impact of globalization in India, there is positive impact and also there is negative impact, and struggle for fair globalization. These are all about your chapter 4, globalization and the Indian economy. Dear students, I think I have cleared all the doubts and all the related chapters of the globalization of the Indian economy, and it will help you on your future exam. Thank you. Myself, Dr. Ganesh Prasad Behera, Founder Chairman, UTKAL International School, Chaudhar, Cuttack. Thank you.